Hello there, my very good friends. On this wrestling news video are more WWE releases coming soon.
I'm going to tell you what's going on with Chris Jericho in AEW.
Where's Wardlow?
And should fans gatekeep AEW? Tony Khan has had his say. I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the After News.
Okay, let's talk about WWE releases.
Yes.
We've been doing that a lot lately. People not being renewed, people being let go. There's been quite a few cuts in the year, big 2025. Brian Alvarez says there might be more coming soon. He was on Wrestling Observer Live, and he said shortly after Sarah Logan Valhalla announced her departure from WWE, he said he's been told there might be others too, and that she might not be the end. Now, they talked about The Miz on this show.
Yeah.
Because The Miz has deleted his references and he's changed his description and he's unfollowed WWE. Sean Ross Sapp has said this is nothing. Like, this is a storm in a teacup kind of thing. But Alvarez has some different info. I'll just read it to you. Why not? Let's go over it. Miz has not been doing much lately, and on Friday they did a segment. He had just gotten put together with Carmelo Hayes as a tag team, and they were teasing a breakup on Friday. And this was right when they cut Truth and Carlito, and now Sarah Logan, and I've been told there were others. So maybe some ones that we've not heard of so far. But yeah, and he's talking about the social media stuff. He says if you go to his Twitter, there are no mentions of WWE. It no longer says the most must-see WWE superstar. He removed all references to WWE. It now says the most must-read Twitter account of all time, and that's it. Now, I know he's doing the new season of American Gladiators.
Oh, yeah.
I know some people are skeptical that they get rid of him right now, but he did remove the references from his social media. And I just think that would be a pretty lame thing to do if you're not being released when everyone else is being released. So there might be... where there's smoke, there could be fire. I think I typoed that transcription.
Either that or Brian Alvarez has been hanging around with Dave Meltzer too long.
Yeah. Let me get my notes over here. 15 minutes later. Love Dave. I will say that, but I guess we'll find out as the week goes on. So, yeah, these things do tend to come in bunches, little bundles. Maybe if there's a bunch of contracts coming up at once, maybe they're looking at their lines on their cold, hard spreadsheet and going, salary big, usage low. But the Miz's usage isn't low. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine The Miz not working for WWE, but I couldn't imagine R-Truth not working for WWE either. So it's a tough one. It's brutal stuff to cover. Obviously, people losing their jobs and stuff. And The Miz is when I think of the phrase WWE superstar. He is one of the first people I think of because he's like. Came in from the real world. Mm-hmm. You know, he learned that he was like brutally treated backstage early on, but he stuck with it. He learned his craft, and he is kind of one of the most WWE wrestlers to a T. If you wrote in ChatGPT or some other AI nonsense, design me a WWE wrestler, they'd probably come out as him.
Do you want the Miz?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one, The Miz, because we sort of speculated on it yesterday, and we said, as Sean had said, it's probably nothing. And now, I don't know, there's just, I don't know, they feel like this snowball's gathering, because like you say, WWE and releases, and this is slightly different, I will caveat this, because we often say this is not WWE cutting people, it's just not renewing their contracts with the likes of Carlito.
They're not releasing them before they expire.
So that's a slight improvement. Obviously, you never want to see anyone losing their jobs, but you know, that sort of thing. And like you say, if there's everyone has a sort of similar time frame for contract renewal, then this could be a WWE and releases are a bit like me and Skittles Chewies. You can't have just a few. It's like, we've got a real taste for that. Let's have loads until I hate myself. But yeah, like you say, this is a very different version of events because previously when it's been like, kind of like cult favourites, but also people that you go, look, I'm a huge fan of like Dakota Kai, but clearly they were never going to really get behind her and give her that big push to main event WrestleMania or whatever. It's very different with sort of these beloved legends, I suppose, of WWE, with more so R-Truth than Carlito, I'd say. Carlito has done very well for himself in this recent year, in my opinion.
He just does faces.
He just does faces.
It works.
And plays 2K and occasionally does a run-in on Monday Night Raw. It's not a bad job.
Liv Morgan says something to Dom and Carlito goes,
yeah, I love him.
That's how it works.
He's a lovely guy to bump into at Sweet Chin Disco, but I think he's played a very important role, but also, come on.
He's killed it. He's done it. Look, shouts to him. Shouts to him. Yeah.
Miz is really interesting, though, like you say, because he's another one like R-Truth that you just thought, oh, he's a lifer. They'll just, even if they're not going to say, we can give you a big contract to work on Monday Night Raw, they'll just be like, you can be our representative on TV talk shows or, whatever it may be. But in this sort of changing of the guards, seemingly, time period of like, right, we need space for, your Rusevs and your Malachi Blacks, people we're signing, people we're bringing up, etc., etc. What have you done for me lately? Miz could be on the chopping block, unfortunately.
Yeah, we spoke about this actually like 2 years ago when when Endeavor, bought WWE. To where it was like, look at what they did with the UFC. They took it over and very quickly, people like Chuck Liddell and Matt Hughes and Randy Couture, who had these long, decorated, legendary careers in the UFC, obviously they retired, they were gone. And it was like, there's no sentimentality there.
No.
It's they will look at this number, that being the person's salary, on whatever list they have, and they'll go, okay, they get rid of that. They don't have any nostalgia for any, like R-Truth was such a beloved guy backstage and very popular amongst the fans as well. And they just ended.
People will get over it.
Yeah, that's what and here's the thing, like the outrage towards this stuff is so temporary. It's unbelievable. So like this weekend, obviously, a lot of people were annoyed that they'd let go of R-Truth, and understandably so. There was a lot of social stuff. People like, what the hell? There was a lot of wrestlers tweeting about it as well. And then on Raw, there was some small "We Want Truth" and like "What's Up" chants and all that stuff. By the end of the day, you hear this noise, and it's a noise in a teacup because like 12,000 people still go to Raw and buy merch and spend all the. It's like
have 2 new Money in the Bank winners by the end of this weekend.
Yeah, it's like a fake outrage in a lot of ways. People don't really care that much. Either that, or the people who are complaining about it online are the people who are not watching the company anyway.
Yeah.
So like it never. This stuff never impacts the bottom line. People never go, oh, yeah, release my favorite wrestler, I'm not going to your shows anymore. They'll do 1 week of chanting, and then by next week, people will have moved on to the next thing because we have no attention spans in 2020, in big 2020.
We had to really focus up to get that Cody thing at WrestleMania 40. Didn't we?
Which was funny.
Like, come on, guys, keep going. Don't forget the hashtag.
Yeah, this is it. Like the Cody one at WrestleMania 40 is a good one because business, 39, business did not go down at all after that. And there was a bloody rubber chicken in the ring. Come on. So yeah, like I think that they know that this, like the backlash lasts about 4 days and then it's gone.
Oh, there'll be a different,
they'll find someone else who everyone loves and they'll get rid of them, and there'll be another situation and then we'll all move on, and like it's an indictment of how fly-by-night wrestling fandom is.
But to circle back to the start of this story, I would not be surprised if there are more WWE releases, particularly if this is the time for contract renewal and they just go, we've got mint talent coming through in NXT. We've got about 5 other different avenues, whether it be TNA or people jumping from AEW or like LFG or like our WWE. Like they ain't struggling for talent at the end of the day.
No, exactly.
But I hope all of our favourites.
I'm pretty excited about a few of them. Like I'm really excited to see what Dakota Kai does.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Where she goes, who she works. I've always thought that she had the potential to be a bit like a leading baby, like someone you build an entire division around as a babyface. Injuries and stuff have derailed her over the years. I don't know if she even wants to be that level of focus anymore, but if she does, like she could have a really special run somewhere.
Yeah, I think she could be. It'd be really interesting to see if she does show up in like an AEW, for example. But I did see a lovely video of her just partying at a gig recently.
I saw she was almost like popping a 2-step. Yeah. I was like, you need to go to like a hardcore show and show some moves.
But maybe WWE are doing all these releases to get in some new young talent like Chris Jericho from AEW. Not heard of this guy, but hot big thing apparently.
Yeah, he's a real Lionheart.
Yeah. What is going on with Chris Jericho? Loads of people are speculating because he, thankfully, let's be honest, disappeared from AEW television a while back to go on tour with Fozzy, and everyone in the moment, like, I love Big Bill and Brian Keith. I want to preface this by saying that. But like it was very much getting to the state of Chris Jericho, like, go away, make me miss you.
Take some time off, baby.
I love your reinventions. I think you're the sort of Madonna of pro wrestling in terms of like doing that sort of thing. Like List Jericho, Le Champion Jericho, Le Sex God Jericho, all the different reincarnations I really enjoy, but it was getting very stale, let's be perfectly honest, and people were saying he was kind of holding Big Bill and Brian Keith back. So, he goes away on tour with Fozzy, and people are like, right, typical. Well, when that tour finishes up at the end of April or whatever it was, see you back on telly. No Chris Jericho. WrestlePure is coming through with a report on this. Nothing on the table for him right now. Is he ready? Is he available? Says WrestlePure.
I think this was Dave, wasn't it?
Sorry, yes. WrestlePure has tweeted this from Dave Meltzer, because it's a quote. Thank you for clarifying on that one. It's because it's just a normal sentence. It confused me. As far as I know, is he ready, available?
It was written in human.
Yeah. WrestlePure has translated Dave Meltzer's words on this. Technically, he's been available even when he tours. Wednesday's always open for him, but it's felt it was time for a break for him, and that is the deal with what's going on with Chris Jericho.
Yeah, time for a break. It's absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, he was one of the...
Kit Kat Chris Jericho, that's what I call him.
Kit
because
Kat.
It's time for a break.
You snapped him in half and he's delicious.
He's only got 4 fingers.
What? Kit Kat Chunky is a delicious chocolate bar, to be fair. 10 out of 10.
I like to get 4 Kit Kat Chunkies and melt them together and pretend I'm a tiny person eating a giant Kit Kat.
Very good. Was it you guys say the sweetie fist?
Yes, the
sweetie fist.
The confectionery hand.
That's it, sweetie fist. That's what I've always said.
Yeah.
The candy food. Candy food. That's
There's an ice cream that's like a foot, isn't it?
Oh yeah, what was that called again?
I think you get reported.
Yeah, that one's for the.
You want the foot-shaped ice cream, do you?
Yeah.
Can I just write your name and details down? Actually, the authority doesn't hear about you.
That one's for the gooners, isn't it? I'm not talking about
gooning at the beach.
Gooning at the beach, gooning and spooning, baby.
Yeah.
Right, Chris Jericho. What's he got to do with gooning at the beach? I have no idea. He
It's the new Fozzy song.
Gee whiz. I mean, some of their songs, oh boy.
Yeah.
He is one of the guys most attracted to criticism on AEW TV. Yeah. Whenever Chris Jericho was on, there was always a big, oh gosh. Look, he was extremely productive for AEW in the early days, sure. The Le Champion, I thought, was just an absolutely awesome run. And there have been some other highlights as well. There have been some lowlights. He's beaten a lot of people he shouldn't have beaten. Yeah. Eddie Kingston, for one. But there's a few others too.
Latched onto a lot of people who were like, oh, their star's rising.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and then he just kind of... to be fair, he put over Bandido in the end, and fair play.
Action Andretti beat him, remember that?
Yeah, poor... I like Crew, to be fair.
I love the Crew.
That's a good tag
team. I want
team.
one of them jackets.
Me too. I want to pop it with a needle.
Ricochet's going to join him, isn't he?
He is.
Or team up.
Imagine Ricochet wearing that jacket. Oh, my goodness. Legend. But yes.
Go away, make me miss you.
Yeah, he needs a bit of time. What is there in 2025 that Chris Jericho can do to boost AEW? I'm not terribly sure.
Could he jump back to WWE? I think speculating on this.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I don't think AEW needs him anymore. They definitely needed him early on, for sure. And he was very useful. So I don't know, man. Maybe there's like a Tony, thank you for everything. Like a nice, like, even separation. I don't know. Just speculating. Maybe Chris Jericho doesn't want to go back. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. I don't think a lot of AEW fans have missed him, and I don't think that's a particularly controversial thing to say. But he's still, every now and then, Jericho does a match, and I'm like, damn, that was pretty damn good. Like
every time I start writing, it's the wrestling obituary. Yeah. I'm like, he's still got something there.
Yeah, like every couple of months, I'm like, man, gosh, there's still some magic there. So, hey, maybe he can do it again. I don't know. Maybe he's got one last gimmick left in him.
I know it's rather divisive, but I really liked La Dida Debonair in the Pando.
Yeah.
It entertained me. It was a weird time.
Most people liked it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just grumps like me.
But it's one of those things of, I think he's, as much as I bemoan him on podcasts, he's always got something to offer. And like you say, like legitimately, I would have conversations with friends of mine early in sort of 2019, 2020 in particular, I'd say, we cover all Elite Wrestling now. And they're like, is that the Chris Jericho wrestling show?
Chris Jericho, Jim Ross show.
He was he was the gateway for that sort of thing. And I think Triple H might think he has a point to prove if he re-signs Chris Jericho. So it's very interesting.
Maybe he should be NXT champion. That'd be funny.
If he beats over Femi, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
Oh my goodness. Right, let's talk about...
what are we talking about? What was our third story? I've completely forgotten.
We need a prop for this one.
Aberdeen!
Where's Wardlow?
Oh, yeah.
Where is he? What's he up to? he is still absent from AEW. He's been gone. You're like halfway off the screen on this video.
Sorry.
It's probably been like this the whole video. We should really work on framing these things.
Did we knock the camera accidentally?
We might have done. Sorry, Ryan. We've given you an
Sorry, mate.
editing headache there. Right, Wardlow, where has he been?
Get my good half.
I don't even have a good half. I just got this red scarf. Wardlow hasn't been on TV since March 2024. Fightful have an update. He was backstage at Revolution this year. He wasn't scheduled for the show, but there's a reason he's been gone. He suffered a torn labrum last spring, and at some point during this break, he also had a car accident.
Oh, wow.
Which made the injury worse. So
that's awful. I didn't know that.
Yeah, bad, not good. He apparently landed a pretty, it's described as a very appropriate and special television part in early 2025, and he has since been cleared to return to the ring. However, he met with Tony Khan, and the parties agreed that it wouldn't serve anyone to just bring him back briefly and then put him away for TV again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He has a bunch of time left on his contract and will not be leaving anytime soon. So it does sound like Wardlow will be back in AEW before long. If you have pulled out your little book with the guy with the stuff, you might...
I love it.
What's that guy? Where's William? I don't know.
Well, where's Wally is what we call him.
Yeah, they call it
Waldo.
Waldo. That's a hotel, isn't it?
Ours, theirs make a lot more sense when it's like Oddlaw's the like reverse of him in the books, whereas ours is like, it's Oddlaw.
Yeah.
Well, that's not Wally backwards,
should be
knobhead.
Ill-law.
Yeah. Sort of Welsh.
Elon. Yeah.
Elon.
Elon. Oh, no. God.
Oh, jeez. Let's not talk about him.
Waldo. Waldorf.
But with Wardlow, sorry to bring it back to the story we're here to talk about. This is going to sound really weird. It's nice to know there was a reason why he wasn't there. Not that I would wish a car accident or a torn labrum on anyone like that. But it was everything just went so quiet. We all assumed injury, but especially with some of the stories we've seen from certain wrestlers recently, when they're just not there and there's no word on it, you're like, what's going on? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
So weirdly, it's nice to know what happened to him now. But like you say, with this TV thing, Wardlow and Peace or whatever they're producing, I don't know if that's the case or not. Nevertheless, it would be weird to be like, hey guys, Wardlow's back. And he's going to be coming back in 6 weeks after he's been away from this TV show. Yeah, if you know, right, we can either bring him back now, and let's be honest, AEW's hotter than it's been in quite some time right now.
They're on a good run.
There's no desperate need for a Wardlow. Yeah. If he's someone you could have in the back pocket of like, right, well, once we've done All In, what a great person to reinsert into the picture.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do with him. He's a guy who maybe looked like he was on the verge of properly breaking out when they had the MJF feud. Actually, the build to that MJF match, I know it went a bit screwy because of reasons, but the build to that match was awesome with Wardlow like rampaging through the buildings and stuff. It was great. Since then, definitely a bit of stagnation.
Yeah.
But like he's essentially a day one guy. Let's see what comes of it. Let's see what Big Wardlow looks like in Big 2024.
Yeah, best luck to him, and look forward to seeing him back in a wrestling ring and our television screens very soon.
Too hot to wear a scarf, man.
But the thing is with AEW Andy, should we gatekeep it? That's the question I'm always asking myself, and someone asked that to Tony Khan on X recently. Lately, Fed fans are asking questions about AEW and wanting to watch it, they said. Should we gatekeep this promotion or let them in? Tony Khan's had his say. Don't let them anywhere near it, he says. No, please gatekeep nothing, sir, says Tony Khan. Welcome these people to AEW with arms wide open. Of course. What are we doing? Come on.
So stupid. How can you gatekeep?
Did you watch it from day one? Well, piss off then.
You're not allowed in my club. How can you gatekeep AEW? It's the second biggest, it's the second most accessible wrestling promotion in the world.
I also like the idea of someone saying you can't watch AEW.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, you're not allowed. So I know it's on like national cable, but
thinking of tuning in on Wednesday night, are you? Well, answer my questions 3 and then you get one wrong. Out of cut your TV cables or something.
Question number 1.
Yeah.
What is Wardlow's preferred flavour of Robinson's Fruit Punch?
Chris Jericho fell into a drink once. What was the drink?
What colour is Griff Garrison's left big toenail?
Well, I found my quiz for Wrestle Culture this week. Gatekeeping AEW. You get it wrong, we'll never cover it again.
The idea that you can gatekeep something that is so mainstream and so popular and so accessible is mental.
Yeah.
Like, it's like gatekeeping is what you do to like your little indie or whatever, and like you probably shouldn't do it because it's bad.
Yes.
And it's elitist and all that stuff. But yeah, this is funny. It's just a funny exchange. You can't watch. Just like you going, hey, you're sitting at home. Maybe I'll check this AEW thing out. You tune over to TBS and some little goblin just appears and pulls the plug.
Complete this phrase, sir. Oh, you're a black belt. Well.
Well, Doctor, your name rhymes.
We making history. It's the young legend who said this in one of the greatest segments on television.
What a thing this is. What a thing this is, man.
Oh, those are the questions
Yeah.
you'd ask to gatekeep AEW.
What do you gatekeep in your life?
My garden path.
Your garden path.
The gate there. If you can't answer my questions 3.
There's a wee guy at the bottom of the ramp going, you gotta pay the troll toll. Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably get demonetized if we finish that.
Right. Serious news across the day today. We did it this morning as well. If they want to see it, should we link to that?
You want to see us talk about Mariah May?
Very seriously. Very seriously indeed. Mariah May, ever heard of her? Well, if you haven't, I'm going to poke you in the eye.
Oh, yeah, if you haven't heard of Mariah May,
Sorry.
you don't get to watch AEW. Yeah. Bye, see you later.